In every generation, two Prose are born. Chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Visit Sunnydale. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I am Geoff.
And I'm Eddie Cruz.
And today we are doing The Dark Age.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Dark Age. Episode 8.
Yes?
Yeah.
Correct.
That was a good... How do you like this episode, Jeffrey?
I remembered more or less what happened in the episode, but I don't think that good of an episode.
I thought it was really, really boring. Kind of bland. I remember watching this the first time. Very important to the overall story arc and very important to what seems to be the softening of Giles in this season.
Well, almost softening / hardening.
Yeah.
In a way.
What's it called? Humanizing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The humanizing of Giles.
And I agree with you about what happens with the overall story arc for this season. The end of the episode is super important to Buffy and Giles' relationship, but everything that happens in between, it's, I don't know, not that great of an episode.
Yeah, I think in the scope of things, I'm not saying it's a horrible episode, very necessary, and the first time I watched it, I did enjoy it, but upon rewatching it, it's not one of the ones that holds, I don't know, so a good place in my heart. It does have a lot of funny quips, though. More dissing on Cordelia.
Yeah.
Xander is still very, very quippy.
Yeah, but it seems like less so. And I don't know if that's just because it's not a Joss Whedon episode.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, well, let me tell you what the fuck happened this episode.
Do.
All right, man. Well, it starts with a guy walking through a school, right? And then he tells the janitor to fuck off.
The janitor with the super rad sideburns, right?
Yeah. Awesome janitor. Guy in a suit tells him to fuck off. And then he's walking. He's looking for Giles. An old zombie woman comes up behind him and then kills him and turns into a puddle of goop. And that's how it opens, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Buffy and Giles are inside the library. They can't hear any of this going on because Buffy's listening to what I would describe as like Mortal Kombat style electronic music.
Yeah, it seems more like the kids' fun version of that. Like if they have like a version with no lyrics of a song or something like that. Or just using a Casio keyboard. Really, really podunk. You can tell that they didn't want to get any kind of copyright lawsuits, and they didn't really have any friends that made music that they could use for free. So, Giles makes a big point about hating the music.
Because he is old, right?
He's like way too old for youngsters'
and that's
music.
like the running, I guess, motif in this episode. It really starts out like, hey, Giles is old. He probably was never cool.
Yeah.
He had tweed diapers.
There's no way we can relate to him. He's totally unrelatable. And then you find out that the guy who died, his name's Philip Henry. And they cut to a mortuary, and he comes back to life, right?
Yeah.
Then commercial break.
Thank you. Did you write down then commercial break?
He opens his eyes and there's like an immediate commercial break. There's a lot of this episode's really disconjointed. Like there's a lot of jumping back and forth, right? Between what Buffy's doing, what Giles is doing and what this zombie is doing. And they do it in these little cutscenes, you know? But yeah, like, so they cut to him and he opens his eyes, and then you come back from the commercial break and Buffy is actually out on a hunt, right? On a vampire hunt. And she's at the hospital and she's looking down on the cars, and there's these vampires that are stealing blood.
Yeah. Well, right before that, we get that info that, so there's that scene in the library with Cordelia where the cops are there. We finally see some cops in Sunnydale.
Yeah.
Which I guess we hadn't really
Yeah.
at all, right?
Complete jerks.
But yeah, so it's the first time we see the police, and they're talking to Giles about this guy who died.
Yeah.
And they want him to come to the morgue. So it establishes that Giles knows this guy. It's somebody from his past. So after that, that's when Buffy ends up at the hospital.
Oh, yeah, and then Cordelia actually interrupts them and finds out that there was a homicide, because at this point, nobody else knows. So Buffy's at the hospital waiting for Giles. He doesn't show up, but she busts these vampires for stealing blood, and then Angel comes in, swoops into the rescue, even though it didn't really seem like she really needed rescuing.
No.
I have a question, though.
Sure.
Why were they stealing the blood? I kind of feel like they were doing something good with it. Maybe. And then why was Angel there? Like, you think that they're his suppliers?
I thought he was there for the blood.
Yeah, they're all there for the blood.
Yeah.
So they're all there in order to drink that blood instead of kill people. And Buffy stops that from happening.
Yeah.
Essentially saying the hospital needs this blood.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, they need that blood too. That's food for them. If you really think about it, Buffy's kind of being a bitch there.
No.
Yeah, like a little bit of a batch.
Well, if they go out, so the blood that they're stealing, there needs to be massive amounts of like a blood supply in Sunnydale, because people are losing so much blood from these vampires. So if she doesn't stop them, that might cause somebody who gets bit by another vampire who isn't dead or is not turned to die because of a loss of blood.
I don't know, man. I think you're picking from the lesser of two evils there.
Am I?
I don't know, because a vampire gets really hungry and eats a whole family.
Or you just let it happen? Should she just let it happen then?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. It's a tough gig.
I don't know. Then everybody's going to be all like, oh, Buffy doesn't care if you steal from the fucking ER down the street.
Which means we don't have to murder people anymore.
They don't think that way. Only Angel thinks that way.
Okay. So anyway.
Oh, so at that scene, you're totally right about that. Angel doesn't really help out at all. Buffy is the one who kills those vampires. The one Angel is fighting, he just kind of jumps at him, lunges at him. Goldberg spears him, I don't know. And that one gets away.
Yeah, seriously.
He's the only one who gets away.
Meanwhile, Giles is trying to find Philip Henry, finds out he's not around, so immediately just starts getting plastered drunk. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like all like, what? Philip Henry died? Oh my god. And he just pops open a bottle and just starts drinking profusely.
Which
he says he's studying or like trying to figure out what's going on later on, but you know he was just getting, I mean, you can't study drunk. Well, I tried for Latin class.
I was going to say, you did?
Yeah, and I almost failed that class. Dr. Loudon was like my coolest teacher ever, and I almost failed that class because of the black market.
Because of drinking?
Drinking and being 21. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it is kind of ridiculous that Giles just starts like taking it to the bottle, but he's drinking because is he worried that his past is coming back or catching up with him, or is he drinking because these were his friends and he's mourning? I don't know if they ever really go into why he's drinking so much.
He just acts very anti-Giles. Like, normally it's like, something bad is going to happen. Now I have to prepare to stop that bad thing. In this episode, it's like, something bad is going to happen, and I really just want to get fucking plowed.
And that's the first time we see that from Giles, where he wants to shy away from his responsibilities. And normally with Buffy, it's like, I want to go on a date.
And
with
he gets
Giles,
all mad.
yeah. But with Giles, he just wants to drink an entire bottle by himself.
And you find out that this is this Saturday. He might get laid with Jenny Calendar. He might make it to the big leagues because she tells him, he's like, you want to go out? And she's like, maybe we stay in.
Well, she did say she was going to make him squirm.
Yeah. I'm going to make you squirm. Yeah. She's probably going to like put on a dildo and peg him. Something like that. That's why they call him Ripper.
Damn. Too far.
Yeah, that was a one too far. So he's like, yeah, cool. It's earlier in the episode that she says that. So now he's so drunk that he probably is not even thinking about getting laid anymore, right? But that was earlier in the episode. And then you find out that Ethan Raines is around because Buffy starts snooping around the library and he immediately tries to kill her.
Well, he tries to push a shelf of books on top of her, which is like the funniest way to try and kill somebody if you are indeed trying to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to slow her down, but I thought that was comical. It's like, I'm going to push this on her. And she's not... Well, not even slow her down. She didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, she had no idea. She was just kind of following noises.
Last time we see him, like, it's more everybody's costumes. They become their own costumes. This time, he attacks somebody just by pushing a shelf on him. I think that's fucking hilarious.
That's the last episode with him ended really ominously. Like it was just like, ooh, he's not there anymore. Will we see him again? Kind of thing. And then the next time you see him, he's like, gotcha, pushing
I'm gonna push a shelf on you.
Here, take some Moby Dick books.
Fuck these books.
Yeah, fuck science. So he drops that on her. She grabs him, punches him in the jaw, and then that says some stuff about last time they were together. And then he proceeds to tell her all about Giles and Giles's past and his old nickname Ripper and the fact that they summon this demon and the demon's now out to kill all of them. So she goes over to Giles's house and he's like fucking ripped. She apparently can smell it on him. He tells her all about the past and why he was afraid to tell her and how he is very ashamed of his past and how he was into magic and shredded on a bass.
The Gathering?
Magic the Gathering, yes. He had all the best fucking cards. A couple, like a Ruby of Santanara or something like that. I just made that.
That sounded legit.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're all rubies. I'm sure it's like a gemstone. Not shitting on Magic. There's just better games out there. Okay, so because she's with Ethan, the Henry Phillip guy shows up and she kicks him into a cage really easily. Giles shows up after that. Philip Henry, the zombie guy, turns into a puddle at the same time that Jenny Calendar is passed out. And
how did she get knocked out?
I think the door opened up and hit her in the arm. Like the cage door like swung open and like hit her in the arm or something and she passed out from that.
Okay.
So she's on the floor and the puddle hits her hand and then Giles wakes her up or gets her up and is like, now I will definitely take you home.
It sounds creepier when you say it.
Yeah. And takes her to the house and she's the gang starts doing some research and they find out that this demon is possessing anybody that's passed out or dead in the vicinity, right?
Yes.
So Jenny is obviously the possessed one and she is all over Giles. Like she's like, put it in my demon pussy. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Well, the demon is not.
Yeah,
she
not
isn't.
Jenny.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that demon was a girl at that point, though.
I don't know. It's weird. Maybe you can make an argument that the group Ripper was in, like the demon was inside of a Ripper at one point, so the demon wanted Ripper inside of it. I don't know. I'm trying to make some sort of weird sexual parallel.
The demon was horny. Get it? Horny horns on the demon.
I'm not sure why it wanted to fuck Giles, though.
Yeah, seriously. I think it was maybe just messing with him and eventually going to be like... I mean, how messed up would it have been if she waited till they got that far before she was like, booga, 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 I'm a demon.
Like, haha, I'm a demon, you're inside me.
Yeah, got you. Vagina dentata. Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm editing this
Little,
one, right?
little teeth reference right there.
That's a good one. So you find out that Jenny is possessed by the demon and Giles gets knocked out by her. Buffy runs over there, saves Giles from Jenny the demon, and Giles proceeds to get even more drunk after that happens. Just goes to a new level of drunk. And Buffy's like, you're fucking useless, dude. I'm going to go save your girlfriend because you are too drunk to even stand up right now.
I don't remember her being that harsh, though.
No, she's saying it like I'm saying it.
She in the episode, it seemed to me she was like a little more caring than the
I'm definitely a lot
edifying
more
it.
Edifying it. I'm calcifying it.
After that, Buffy goes to the old costume shop, I think to look for Ethan Rayne.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the library, Willow, Xander, and Cordelia come up with the plan to lure the demon out.
So when does Buffy get captured by Ethan?
I think it's when she's looking for him, right? It's
okay.
Like kind of during...
He like throws a sheet on her, right? Am I right?
No.
No?
He hits her with something in the back and knocks her out.
Oh, okay. Who threw a sheet on somebody? Oh, I saw another movie, Train to Busan, earlier, and they threw a sheet on a zombie. Sorry. I've been watching too much media today. It's all mixing. Oh, Train to Busan was really good. Korean horror movie. Good movie. Anyway. So
I shook my head, yes. You couldn't see that. But
So Ethan ties up Buffy. She gets knocked out. Once again, she was not hit in the head. She was hit in the back. Gets knocked out. She's on her, I guess, stomach, laying down with her arms around a massage table tied together underneath. Seems like something the Slayer should be able to get out of pretty easily, but Ethan's going to put a sweet tat right in between her shoulder blades, so she's chilling.
yeah, and the rope didn't look particularly
Loose,
like
tight.
or even thick or anything. It seemed like maybe like Buffy was having an off day.
Yeah. Or like just squeeze the table till it breaks. Those things are like made out of twigs. Usually.
Or 16, 17-year-old girl, she's like, cool, I'm going to get a fucking tattoo. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that was an easy way to get a free tat.
Yeah. Stick and poke.
Stick and poke. And done masterfully.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
good fucking stick and poke.
I had friends that do stick and pokes and none of them look that good. I mean, not a very good design.
Especially now. No offense, guys.
Yeah, seriously. They look horrible. The vagina's in between fingers. Why do people do that? No offense, guys. So he decides to put the same tattoo that is the honing device for these demons to find these people on Buffy. He takes too long. By the time he puts that sweet tat on her, the demon's there, and Buffy starts fighting the demon.
Well, no, it does work. He does put it on her, but she managed to get free just in the nick of time.
Just in the nick of time. So she manages to free herself and starts fighting Jenny Calendar.
Yeah.
Right? So Angel pops in with like the whole gang and Giles, and he manages to save the day.
In a way, Angel comes in, basically almost chokes the life out of Jenny Calendar.
Choke slams Jenny.
Choke slams Jenny Calendar. The demon pops out, goes into Angel, and then
he's the closest dead person.
Yeah, and the demon inside of Angel battles that demon, and apparently the Angelus demon is way stronger than the Igon demon.
It's Angelus.
Angelus.
I had a question about this. What do you think that fight looked like?
What do you think it looked like?
In the comic books, it usually just is like a manifestation of them inside fighting normally. I don't know.
That sounds good to me. I didn't really think about it too much.
Because it just ends with like the demon going like poof. Right?
Yeah, it's a pretty anticlimactic fight scene to be all inside somebody.
Yeah, so Jenny Calendar comes out of that, and Giles and Jenny take off, and the next cut is the next day at school. And there's sad music and stuff because it's like, you know, resolution time.
That's actually the music that they play.
Yeah, so the next day at school, Giles comes up to Jenny and is like, Jenny, I know what love is, Jenny. I'm not a smart man, but I know what no. He's like, are you okay? He's like, are you okay, Jenny? And she's like,
and he does like, he's back to like super soft-spoken Giles.
Yeah.
Not like Ripper fucking taking bong hits and shooting Jack Daniels at his house.
Oh, that's another thing. When like Jenny got back to his house and she had supposedly just like been knocked out, the first thing he does is offer her a drink.
Oh,
like not even like a mixed drink, right?
I want to get to his drinking. We'll get to there. That's a pretty big motif. His drinking.
It's fucking awesome. So he goes up to her and he's like, "Oh, Jenny," and then she's like, "I'm okay. I guess I'm coping. You know, I was just possessed by a demon." And then he tries to touch her and she like flinches. And you find out that there is now a rift. What started out at the beginning of the episode to be this Saturday, I'm going to go to Boogie Woogie Woogie Town. It turned into this Saturday, I'm going to be studying, I guess, more.
Yeah, and I got that she blamed him for that. And I guess he is kind of to blame. But not really, man. It's fucking Sunnydale. It's the Hellmouth. Granted, that demon... It was all because of him, really, things he did in his youth. But, God damn it, you're going to hold that against him?
Yeah, seriously. Especially after having this long courtship that's just, like, going on. She obviously likes him. He obviously likes her. Just get it over with, right? And they're just building tension, obviously.
I don't see what she sees in him, though.
Yeah, at this point. Same thing with... I don't really see what anybody sees in anybody. Buffy and Angel, I don't see what she sees in him. I definitely don't see what he sees in her.
I can see what Buffy sees in Angel, like tall, dark, mysterious man. They share that common bond about. Well, he hasn't slayed a vampire, has he?
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of a fighter. I can see that, but Jenny Calendar and Giles, other than working together, I don't even think she really knows the real Giles, and this episode kind of proves it. She did go through something traumatizing, but so did Giles, and vice versa. She's not going to be there for him when he is going out of his way to try to be there for her. It seemed kind of weird. Like, Giles' childhood friends, a lot of them died, and he has to deal with something in his past he's hiding, and should Jenny Calendar be like, oh, you're not going through anything. It was just me. I don't want to be around you anymore. I think that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, you keep on going to that, and it's really a good point that two of them just died. And the last time this happened was a horrific event for him, probably very traumatizing, obviously. Losing sleep over it and whatnot.
But the cool thing is, or at least what I think this episode is really about at the end, is, we said earlier, the relationship between Giles and Buffy. And Buffy's the one who's there for him.
Yeah.
She understands.
Yeah.
And even that point where it's the first time you realize, like, Giles didn't choose to be a watcher, which I thought was really cool. One of the most noteworthy things I remember about this episode was like, holy shit, you always just assume Giles is like, oh, I want to be a watcher. This wasn't really chosen for him. It was part of his destiny. I thought that was super cool. I was like, oh, Buffy and Giles share a lot more than I realized. And Buffy, in turn, kind of realized the same thing through the episode.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. I will say that this really was necessary for Giles' growth, I think. Like, they needed an episode like this. Do you think it was done well?
No.
No.
I think the end was done well. I think there needed to be a rift between Jenny Calendar and Giles for the story, but I don't really think it was done well.
Right on.
And it was a kind of a shit use of Ethan Rayne, who in the previous episode had one of the coolest episodes so far with the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be this powerful magic user, and he doesn't really do anything other than run away, pour something on his tattoo to remove it, and tattoo Buffy.
You think he poured acid on it?
I don't know.
There was like this old myth. I think it's a myth. I don't know. They told me about it when I got my first tattoo, that if you get a new tattoo using no ink and lime and salt instead of that for ink, that you can take a tattoo off. I think that's complete bullshit.
So it was something like that's what he was doing, right? Cheap tattoo removal.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
But why, if he's like
that tattoo was so dark on his arm, like it looked like it had been freshly done, or
I know
it was fake. Like that many years later, that thing would have been like a green blobby mess. And he had like one of his sleeves rolled up like Marlon Brando on one side and just normal on the other one. It looked ridiculous.
I just assumed there were a pack of cigarettes in there.
Yeah, right? Just like, poop, got it.
Yeah, but don't you think he could... I mean, that's what I think one of the reasons this was a weaker episode. Definitely important, but didn't use Ethan Rayne at all. I don't think the Xander was that funny.
Yeah, the gang's motifs weren't the best. It does, like, you do get a sense of the endings to every episode. It seems like every episode either ends with a moment between the gang or a moment between Buffy and Giles. I'd like to go back and maybe count them and see how many end with Buffy and Giles talking. Because, like, tons of them in the cemetery. Always, like, of them just, like, chatting over, like, after she killed her her friend from her old school.
Yeah.
There's that one. It seems like that seems to be the end. It's a good way to kind of build a group's dynamic, kind of finishing and starting every episode with
I think
them.
it works really well.
Yeah. It makes you really love that group. And they always have like one little fancy quip, even if it's just one joke that Xander says per episode that makes you like him more. It's good.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little ridiculous stuff in this episode. I'm not trying to shit all over it. I just think there's certain things that I want to point out. It's kind of funny. They're all going to this computer class, right, on the weekend, but it's really just Cordelia and Xander.
Yeah.
Are they
when Jenny Calendar first started talking about it, she should have been like, yeah, this Saturday, Cordelia and you need help, and Willow's going to help you. That's what they should have said, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, this Saturday I have a class where, like, the remedial students are coming in. And she makes it sound like there's a lot of them and that she needs Willow's help.
And she knows all these people very well.
To the point where she knows that one of them is a vampire slayer.
Yeah. And if anything, I think Buffy should have been in that class too, because she's not learning shit.
Yeah, absolutely. She gets a total pass for being a vampire slayer. She even shows up. I would have been like, take a seat.
So it's just kind of an excuse.
And put on a bra. Second episode, no bra. Jesus, you can't do that at school. Jesus.
Yeah, I think she would have got sent to the office. Notice no Snyder.
Yeah, no Snyder at all.
He wouldn't stand for this no bra shit.
No, man. That would have been another school hard episode.
So yeah, it's just fucking. It's weird that it's just a bullshit ass excuse to get these characters together and alone by not. I mean, they could have had like Jonathan in the fucking background or something.
Yeah, they already had it. I mean, it seemed like they forced Cordelia's character into this episode pretty hard too.
Yeah.
It was like she was the one that revealed that Giles had been witness to a homicide, but that could have been easily anybody else. Or they could have just worked around it, like written it a little bit differently.
Well, then again, Cordelia, she is around, and we talked an episode or two ago about her not really having friends and maybe wanting to fit in with this group. She even goes in this episode to talk to Buffy and she's like, what can I do? And Buffy's like,
Yeah.
kind of don't want you around.
She's a part of the Scoobies that the Scooby don't want around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
makes you feel really bad for Cordelia.
My initial viewing, like when I was younger watching these episodes, I never thought of it like that. And now I'm like, I feel bad for Cordelia.
Like she's just lonely.
Yeah.
Like all of her other friends, she didn't really know and just bossed around. And these people, for the first time that she has a connection with, kind of just dismiss her in everything she says. And she's kind of, she is programmed pretty badly.
Her nature, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like she can't help it, but that's a lot to deal with, right?
Yeah. Can I tell you something else that I thought was kind of ridiculous with the dialogue?
Yeah.
So Willow's in the library and they're talking about translation, and she mentions this. She's like, any fool can see that it's not this, it's that. And why would she say that? That's just such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
That it just kind of like didn't feel like her character, like it came from her. And there's a lot of these little moments in this. This wasn't written or directed by Joss Whedon. I looked up the writer and director. It's somebody who'd done several episodes, but not anybody noteworthy. So I don't know if that's part to blame.
Yeah. It's still early in the mythos, They might have also hired a whole bunch of writers. They doubled the amount of episodes for this season from season 1.
So you can write like one of the middle ones. It's fine. We'll just tie it in at the end.
Yeah. And I don't think it was done so poorly that it threw me out. It was fair. It was just not pinpointed accuracy for character development.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they got on the board. It was like if they were playing darts, they didn't like not hit the board or hit the side. It's on the inside area.
It's little moments like that, but again, at the end, they nail it with Buffy saying something like, I'm just paraphrasing, like, we're used to seeing you as the grown-up, and we find out that you're an actual person with flaws and this and that they're telling Giles, which I thought was a great moment.
Yeah, man. And now let's talk about his drinking.
All right.
Jesus, man. Mind you, we drink a lot of whiskey when we consume whiskey. But he drank at least half a bottle that night, it seemed.
It made it seem in the episode that he already had a drinking problem, because when I know it's out of character for Giles to drink, but when Buffy's like, he was drinking, like she doesn't even say how much, but they're all like shocked. They're, oh my God. Like it seemed like,
yeah,
it was
very
like,
Saved by the Bell-ish.
Yeah.
Like,
they're, oh no.
How like nobody ever even considered drinking before this.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's just
like
the
PSA
fact that,
style.
Well, but right after that, Jenny says alone in his house, kind of like caveats, like was he drinking with somebody or something like that, but she makes it apparent that drinking alone is probably not a good thing.
Yeah, but he lives alone. He does lots of stuff alone. If he were to drink something, would it be alone? Would he go out? He doesn't really have any friends. He has Jenny Calendar and the Scoobies. So, I don't know. Maybe just the motherfucker wants to go home and have a drink after dealing with all these asshole kids.
Yeah.
Can he have a drink?
Yeah. But there's definitely a stigma to drinking alone.
Yeah.
Obviously. Just in all society.
Then again, the writers make it worse when we see he's drinking like an entire bottle in the span of what, like 2 days? This is a weekend,
they gave him a real drinking problem. He could barely stand in one episode. And at one point he's like, I need to get up, and falls on the floor.
Well, was that... I think that might have been a combination of the drinking and he was having those visions from the tattoo.
No,
because
dude.
Buffy was getting tattooed,
That's what
right?
half a bottle of whiskey does.
You know, you might be right, just because Ethan Rayne seemed fine.
Yeah, he seemed fine. He was like, I know you've been having the dreams too. And Giles is all, yeah, dreams. Crazy.
I would have liked him more drunk. Giles.
Yeah, just like just pissing his pants drunk.
I don't think you have to make that very light in the episode, because if Giles is pissing his pants and he killed somebody in his car, then the episode becomes about Giles's drinking, not about his past coming to bite him in the ass, right?
Yeah.
Like
They could have made a really great episode out of that.
The drinking is just something so weird that they threw in there, I feel. Like, it seemed like he had a fucking problem for 2 days.
Yeah, like a bad problem.
And still, nobody talks to him about his friends who fucking died.
No, yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, he's going through a mourning period.
He's grieving.
Yeah, he's grieving a lot. He's finding solutions at the bottom of a bottle.
Giles pissing his pants in the episode cracks me up.
The Scoobies arguing who has to take him home this time. He threw up in my car last time.
So, have anything else to say about the episode, or do you want to go on to the deaths?
How many people died? That's what I want to know.
People or demons? Or
Well,
both?
Both.
Oh.
I'm an equal opportunity obituarier.
So there were 2 vampires who died. They were outside of the hospital that Buffy killed. Angel, let the other one leave.
Get away.
So, yeah.
Saves the day.
And 2 demon deaths. So there was no, I'm wrong. So there was 1 demon death. There was the main demon who, Angelus. Ends up killing inside of him. Demon came inside of him, and Angel killed him. The other death I forgot to mention was human death. Was Philip.
Okay. And what about Deidre?
What about what?
Deidre,
The
first zombie. She died off screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She came in dead.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to consider that a death, even though technically it was. Who knows when it happened?
She turned into a piece of goop.
I mean, because if not, we can start considering like, oh, well, that vampire died at some point, so let's count him. And I don't want to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And the goop was really the demon we're counting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Good?
We're good.
Good for you?
We're good.
Do you want to say anything else to end the show?
I really want to see a fleshed out portrayal of what it's like to see Angelus fight the demon inside of Angel.
That actually would be pretty cool.
Other than that, no, I got nothing.
Yeah. So, all right, episode.
Yeah, it was bitchin'.